Meet Alex. Tonight, he's on edge. The charts scream opportunity, but his account screams regret. Despite his strategy, he just took a blow. 3 losses in a row. He knows the technical edge, but he doesn't know himself. Sound familiar? Most traders with solid systems still fail, because the real battlefield is inside your head. That's where Mark Douglas draws the line in trading in the zone. Not in patterns or indicators, but in your psychology. Douglas, once a successful insurance executive turned trader in 1981, lost almost everything. That defeat forced him to confront a brutal truth. Traders don't fail because markets fool them. They fail because their minds betray them. Developing a winning mindset matters more than any technical skill and technical edge. That's the premise of Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. Too often you feel the market should behave one way, so when it doesn't, you crack. And it's that gap between your expectations and reality that destroys your discipline. Alex, on that fateful night, has had charts, entries, exits, everything. But he doesn't yet have control over his mind. That's what this video on Trading in the Zone is here to fix for you. In this video, you'll discover the 5 truths that rule trading. You'll finally learn to think in probabilities, wrestle down fear, reprogram your beliefs around trading, and ultimately step into the zone where the mind meets market. Get ready. This is your guide to internal mastery before you ever click trade again. Why most traders fail? You know the feeling. You study, you plan, you enter the market thinking, this time I've got it, and yet it slips away. Why? As Mark Douglas argues in his book, it's not lack of intelligence, it's not lack of strategy, it's an invisible mental trap you've sleepwalked into. And this invisible mental trap kills 95% of traders. This trap is the trap of false certainty. We all enter trading believing knowledge equals control. You think, if I just learn enough indicators, watch enough YouTube videos, buy enough courses, I'll be sure of what happens next. That belief is seductive. It gives you a rush of confidence. But in the market, certainty is an illusion. You stack books on your trading desk, scribbling new strategies, switching from RSI to Bollinger Bands to Fibonacci retracements. Every system promises clarity, but every system eventually fails you because markets are random in the short term. The moment you tie your identity to predicting a single trade, you've set yourself up for emotional collapse. Douglas calls this trap of false certainty the fundamental illusion of trading. This is where you assume there's a guaranteed cause-effect pattern in the market. But markets are probabilistic, and that gap between what you think you know and the randomness of outcomes is what creates pain, fear, revenge trading, and eventually ruin. The emotional cycle of losing. Let's go back to Alex and break down his last week of trading to see maybe it looks familiar. 1. He first gets excited. He finds a new pattern. He says, this one's the holy grail. 2. Then he gets overconfident. He sizes up big. He says, this is the trade that will fix everything. 3. And the loss happens. The market moves the other way. 4. He's now confused and angry. That shouldn't have happened. The chart was perfect. 5. Then he sets out to revenge. He takes another trade impulsively, trying to win back what was lost. 6. He incurs bigger loss. Now panic sets in. And 7. He feels ashamed and paralyzed. He withdraws, swearing to never trade again until the cycle restarts. Sound familiar? This cycle I just described isn't down to a lack of a trading system. This is the human condition when confronted with uncertainty. Douglas writes that until a trader accepts risk completely, he will unconsciously sabotage himself. Fear will creep in, and that fear will become hesitation. And hesitation always kills execution. So, how do you escape this cycle of trading despair? Mark Douglas recommends accepting the 5 fundamental truths of the market He argues that it's when you internalize these 5 fundamental truths that you can enter the zone and trade in the zone. The 5 fundamental truths in the zone. Mark Douglas explains that successful trading is built on 5 fundamental truths. These truths shape how professionals think and act in the market. Let's go through each one so you can see exactly how they work in real life. Truth number 1. Anything can happen in trading. Anything can happen at any moment. You can have a perfect technical setup, a strong trend, confirmation from indicators, and clean support, resistance, and still lose because the market suddenly moves in the opposite direction. In 2015, the Swiss National Bank unexpectedly removed its currency peg to the euro. And within minutes, the Swiss franc skyrocketed and wiped out thousands of accounts worldwide. Traders who were 100% sure of their analysis prior to this unexpected move by the Swiss National Bank didn't stand a chance because something unpredictable happened. The lesson? Stop expecting certainty. Even if a setup looks perfect, there are no guarantees. Professionals know this and are prepared. Truth number 2. You don't need to know what happens next to make money. This truth completely changes how you trade. You do not need to predict the future to be profitable. You just need to follow your system with discipline. Think of a casino. A casino doesn't know the next card, spin, or roll. It simply has a small statistical edge. And by repeating that edge thousands of times, it becomes profitable. A trader with a strategy that has a 55% win rate doesn't need to be right on every single trade. Over 100 trades, that edge will make him profitable as long as he manages risk and takes every trade according to plan. Most amateurs blow up because they try to be right on this one trade. Professionals focus on the big picture. Truth number 3. A single trade doesn't make you right or wrong. The outcome of a single trade doesn't mean anything about your skill or your intelligence. You can follow your rules perfectly and lose. You can break your rules completely and win. The result of one trade doesn't define you. Imagine 2 traders. Trader A breaks all of his rules and takes a random trade, and the market moves in his favor. Trader B follows his plan perfectly, takes the correct setup, and loses because of an unusual market move. Who is the better trader? Of course it's Trader B, because over time, that discipline will pay off, while Trader A will eventually lose everything. Truth number 4. Wins and losses come in random sequences even with a profitable edge. You will never know the sequence of wins and losses. A professional trader might backtest their strategy and see that it wins 60% of the time. But that doesn't mean they win 6 out of every 10 trades in a perfect pattern. They might lose 4 trades in a row, win the next 5, and lose 2 more. The distribution is random. This is why you can't get emotional when you hit a losing streak. Professionals understand that a losing streak doesn't mean their edge is gone. Truth number 5. Every trade is unique. No 2 trades are identical. Even if a chart looks exactly like one you've seen before, the underlying conditions are different. Different players, different liquidity, and different volatility. You might see a double top pattern form on the EUR/USD today, and it breaks down, just like it did last month. But today, a central bank announcement could appear out of nowhere and completely reverse that pattern. If you assume the same outcome will repeat, you'll get blindsided. That's why each trade must be treated as a completely unique event. What happens when you accept these truths? When these truths sink into your mindset, something changes. You stop fearing uncertainty because you know it's normal. You stop needing to predict because you know that you don't have to. You focus on executing your edge over a series of trades, not obsessing over the result of a single trade. Mark Douglas calls this mental state the zone. In the zone, you trade without hesitation. You stop forcing trades. You stop attaching emotions to wins and losses. This is how professionals operate. These truths are not suggestions, they are the foundation of consistent profitability. Thinking in probabilities. Now that you understand the 5 fundamental truths and how to get in the zone, it's time to put them into action. This is where most traders transform from emotional gamblers into consistent professionals. And the key is to start thinking in probabilities. What does it mean to think in probabilities? Thinking in probabilities means you no longer attach emotions to a single trade. Instead, you see every trade as just one event in a long series of events. Imagine flipping a coin. You know there is a 50-50 chance of heads or tails on each flip. You don't panic after 5 tails in a row, because you know over 100 flips, the results will balance out. Trading works the same way. Your edge might give you a 55% or 60% chance of success. But in the short term, the sequence of wins and losses will be random. Most traders fail here because the average trader wants certainty. He thinks, this setup looks perfect. I know it's going to work. And when it doesn't, he gets angry or scared and abandons his plan. This emotional reaction comes from thinking trade by trade instead of thinking in terms of a series. It is like playing 100 hands of poker, but going all in emotionally on hand number 3. When you lose, you quit, even though your strategy would have won over the full 100 hands. Professional and profitable traders act like casinos. They know the edge they have. They don't know what will happen on the next single trade. They execute the same way every time because they trust the math. When you think in probabilities, a loss doesn't hurt your ego. A win doesn't make you overconfident. You treat every trade as a small part of the big picture. If your strategy has a 60% win rate, every time you take a trade, it's like dipping your hand in a jar with 100 marbles. 60 are white, profitable trades, and 40 are black, losing trades. You don't know which color you'll pull, but over 100 pulls, you will automatically end up having 60 white marbles and 40 black marbles in your hand if you stick to your plan. If you panic after pulling 3 black marbles in a row, you're focusing on the wrong thing. Professionals and profitable traders keep pulling because they know the jar favors them over the long term. The power of detachment. When you think in probabilities, you stop obsessing over being right. Instead, you focus on executing your edge consistently. This detachment from results is not laziness. It's professionalism. Think about a surgeon performing a procedure. A good surgeon doesn't get emotionally attached to the outcome of a single operation. He focuses on following the correct process, step by step, because the life of his patient literally depends on him following the process of procedure step by step. And that's why a good surgeon's long-term success rate is high. Trading is the same. Process first, results second. Detachment changes everything because when you stop caring about the outcome of one trade, fear disappears because you realize that a loss is just part of the game. Hesitation disappears because you know that missing a trade is worse than a planned loss. And you become consistent because you stop overreacting to streaks. Now, let's describe some practical steps to train yourself to detach, master your emotions, adopt a probabilistic mindset, and get in the zone. 1. Lower your risk per trade. Trade small enough that a single loss doesn't bother you emotionally. 2. Track your edge over at least 50 to 100 trades. This will show you how your strategy performs as a series, not as individual outcomes. 3. Replace I need to win with I need to execute. Focus on following your plan flawlessly, not on winning one trade. 4. Journal your emotional reactions. When you feel fear or frustration, write it down. Over time, you'll see patterns in how your emotions sabotage you. Think of trading like flying in an airplane. During turbulence, the pilot doesn't panic. He trusts his instruments and keeps flying because he knows turbulence doesn't mean the plane will crash. In trading, turbulence is a losing streak. If you stay calm, follow your plan, and keep your hands on the controls, you'll reach your destination. When you learn to think in probabilities, you stop trying to predict the market. You stop reacting emotionally to every win or loss. You start acting like a professional, calm, disciplined, and consistent. This mental shift is the foundation of long-term success. Once you make this change, you will stop fighting the market and start working with it. In the next section, we'll go deeper into beliefs and emotions, how they're formed, how they hold you back, and how to reprogram your mind to trade without fear. Beliefs and emotions. One of the most powerful lessons from trading in the zone is that your results in the market are a reflection of your beliefs and emotions. It's not the market that stops you, it's the mental framework you bring to it. Your beliefs create your trading reality. Beliefs are like lenses. Two traders can look at the same chart and see completely different things. One might see danger and panic, and the other might see opportunities. The difference isn't the chart, it's the beliefs they hold about risk, control, and uncertainty. For instance, if you believe I must always be right, every losing trade feels like a personal attack. If you believe losses are part of the game, the same losing trade feels normal. Your beliefs determine your emotional state, and your emotional state determines your actions. As a result of this, trading creates intense emotions like fear, greed, hope, regret, and so on. But the big three emotions that sabotage most traders and rear their ugly heads over and over again are fear, greed, and revenge. Fear makes you cut winners too soon or hesitate to take valid setups. Greed makes you risk too much and break your rules. Revenge makes you jump back in to recover losses. The market acts like a mirror. It exposes these emotions for you to see. If you don't manage these emotions, they will control you. Think of trading like a gym for your mind. The market will push on your weak spots over and over again. Every losing streak will test your fear. Every winning streak will test your level of greed. If you refuse to work on these emotional weaknesses, you will never build the emotional strength to succeed. So, the question now is, how do you control your fears, greed, and revenge trading? And here are specific exercises to help you regain control over fear, greed, and revenge trading. Drill number 1, diffusing fear. Fear in trading usually shows up in 3 ways. Fear of losing, fear of missing out, FOMO, and fear of being wrong. The solution is controlled exposure. Just like a firefighter practicing drills in controlled fires. By the time the real flames come, he's already calm and prepared. How you execute this as a trader is by 1. Pre-planning every trade. Write down your entry, stop loss, and take profit before you enter. Once the plan is written, your brain stops trying to fix the trade mid-flight. 2. Loss visualization. Before placing a trade, say out loud, "This trade may lose," and that's fine. It's part of the process. Repeating this trains your mind to accept risk before it happens. Drill number 2, controlling greed. Greed makes you risk too much, break your plan, and hold losers hoping for a miracle. The solution is setting predefined risk. 1. Set a maximum daily loss limit. Decide the exact amount you are willing to lose in one day. If you hit that number, stop trading. No exceptions. 2. Target-based position sizing. Define your risk per trade as a small percentage of your account, 1% or less. This makes big, impulsive bets impossible. 3. The banker mindset. Drill. Each morning remind yourself, I am the risk manager. My job is to preserve capital, not chase profits. Think of yourself as the banker in a casino. The banker never gambles. The banker protects the house. Drill number 3, eliminating revenge trading. Revenge trading is when you try to win back what you just lost by entering impulsive trades. It's one of the fastest ways to blow up an account. The solution is the 20-minute rule. You execute the 20-minute rule by 1. Mandatory pause. After any losing trade, take a 20-minute break. Step away from the screen. This gives your emotional brain time to cool down. 2. Write it out. Use this 20-minute break time to write in your journal. Why did I lose? Did I follow my plan? What's my next planned trade? 3. Accountability partner. If possible, have someone you can message after a big loss. Just telling someone what happened reduces the emotional urge to jump back in recklessly. This is like a boxer who takes a breath and listens to the coach after being hit. If he charges blindly, he gets knocked out. If he regroups, he recovers. Bonus drill: emotion logging. Keep a separate emotions column in your trading journal. After every trade, write down one word that describes your state. Calm, fearful, greedy, or angry. Patterns will emerge. You'll start to notice that most bad decisions come when a certain emotion is present. These exercises build emotional muscle memory. Instead of reacting on impulse, you create space between emotion and action. This is how you stay disciplined when everyone else is panicking or chasing. Your goal is not to eliminate fear, greed, and revenge. That's impossible to do. Your goal is to recognize them quickly and have drills ready to neutralize them. When you do this consistently, you move closer to trading like a professional. Now that you know how to be more emotionally stable while trading, it's time to zoom in on the beliefs you hold about trading. Beliefs come from experience. If you started trading with a few lucky wins, you might unconsciously believe trading is easy, so you take big risks. If you started with a string of losses, you might believe the market is out to get me, so you hesitate to act. These beliefs can be wrong, but your brain will keep acting as if they're true until you challenge them. How to reprogram your beliefs for trading success. Mark Douglas suggests 3 steps. 1. Awareness. Start by identifying the beliefs that are holding you back. Ask yourself, what do I believe about losses? What do I believe about being right? What do I believe about risk? Write these down, because awareness is the first step. 2. Replace limiting beliefs with productive ones. Every time you catch yourself thinking, I need to win this trade, replace it with, I don't need to win. I need to execute my plan. Replace I can't take a loss with, losses are tuition. They are the cost of doing business. Over time, these new beliefs become automatic. 3. Reinforce through practice. Beliefs are strengthened by experience. Trade small so you can experience losses and wins without panic. Prove to yourself that following your plan over 50 trades leads to better results than reacting emotionally. The more you see this with your own eyes, the more your brain rewires itself. Your mind is like a computer. Think of reprogramming your beliefs as resetting the operating system of a computer. If your operating system has bugs, no matter how good your software or your strategy is, it will crash. Reprogramming your beliefs is like reinstalling a clean operating system. Only then can your strategies work as they're designed to. Your emotions follow your beliefs. When you change your beliefs, your emotions change. When your emotions change, your actions become disciplined. And when your actions are disciplined, your results follow. This is why Douglas says, consistency is in your mind, not in the market. In summary, mastering your beliefs and emotions around trading boils down to 1. Identifying your limiting beliefs by writing them down. 2. Challenging them with new productive beliefs. 3. Reinforcing those beliefs with small, consistent trading actions. 4. Keeping a separate emotions journal to track fear, greed, hesitation, and revenge. 5. Keeping the fear, greed, and revenge trading at bay by pre-planning every trade, setting a maximum daily loss limit, and taking a mandatory 20-minute pause after a loss. 6. Review your journal weekly to see how your mindset evolves. Discipline and process. Mark Douglas makes one thing clear. Without discipline, even the best strategy is useless. Discipline turns knowledge into consistent action. And a structured process is what keeps emotions from hijacking your trading decisions. Why discipline matters more than analysis. Most traders focus 90% of their effort on finding the perfect entry signal. But professionals know this truth. It's not about the entry. It's about the execution. Discipline ensures that you follow your edge the same way every single time. It stops you from skipping trades, chasing after losses, or breaking your own rules. And if you want to become a disciplined trader, you need to install these 3 pillars into your trading. The 3 pillars of a trading process. 1. Have a written trading plan. You cannot trade based on memory or feelings. Write down your rules in advance. When to enter, when to exit, how much to risk, which markets to trade. This written plan becomes your law. If a trade doesn't meet your rules, you don't take it. Period. Think of it like a pilot's pre-flight checklist. Pilots don't take off based on intuition. They follow a checklist every time. 2. Risk management rules. Professional traders never risk so much that one bad trade can hurt them. Key guidelines. Risk a small percentage of your capital on each trade, usually 1% or less. Use stop-loss orders every time. Decide your maximum daily and weekly loss limits in advance. These rules protect your account and your mindset. 3. Performance review. Your process doesn't stop when the trade closes. Review every trade at the end of the day or week. Ask, did I follow my plan? Where did I break discipline? How can I improve next time? This review is how you refine your system and correct mistakes. The power of routine. Structure kills impulsiveness. Have a daily routine for trading. When to analyze. When to execute. When to stop. When to review. When you know exactly what to do and when to do it, you stop trading based on mood or impulse. A professional athlete doesn't wake up and decide randomly what workout to do. He follows a program designed for long-term results. A trader is no different. Without a process, you're a casual player. With a process, you become a professional competitor. The danger of breaking your rules. Every time you break your own rules, even if you win, you reinforce bad habits. This is called random reinforcement. Winning on a bad decision teaches your brain that breaking rules works. Eventually, that habit destroys your account. The opposite is also true. Following your rules, even on a losing trade, reinforces discipline. This is why Douglas says, you must learn to love following your plan more than you love winning a single trade. Here's a simple checklist before every trading session to stay disciplined. 1. Did I review my plan? 2. Do I know my risk for today? 3. Am I mentally prepared to follow my rules? 4. Am I ready to stop if I hit my limit? If the answer to any of these is no, you don't trade. Discipline and process give you control. Without them, your trading is just gambling. When you have a written plan, strict risk management, and a regular review process, your results stop being random. You finally create consistency because your actions are consistent. Achieving the zone. Everything we've covered so far, accepting risk, thinking in probabilities, mastering your beliefs, controlling emotions, and building discipline, is leading to one destination: the zone. What is the zone? Mark Douglas describes the zone as a mental state of peak performance. It's when you trade with total confidence and zero fear. In the zone, you are calm even when the market is volatile. You act automatically on your edge without hesitation. Wins and losses no longer affect your emotional state. This isn't theory. It's a state that professional traders experience regularly. What does it feel like? When you're in the zone, trading feels effortless. You're not forcing trades. You're not doubting yourself. The zone, you simply see a valid setup, take the trade, manage the risk, and move on without attaching emotions. It's very similar to an athlete in the flow during a game. The body acts, the The mind is quiet. Most traders never enter the zone because they never do the inner work. They stay stuck in fear, greed, and inconsistency. They try to trade their way into confidence. But confidence comes after you build trust in your edge, accept your risk, and stay disciplined to follow your plan. So far in this video, the steps to reach the zone include: 1. Internalize the 5 fundamental truths. These truths remove the need to predict and the fear of being wrong. Without them, you will always trade emotionally. 2. Think in probabilities. Stop focusing on one trade. Focus on the series. This mindset gives you patience and steadiness, even when losing. 3. Build a structured process. Your written plan, your risk management, and your review routine are the tools that keep you grounded. 4. Detach from outcomes. When the result of a single trade no longer affects how you feel, you're free. That emotional detachment is the gateway into the zone. Think of the military sniper, the good ones, who's trained for years, has trust in his preparation, and when the moment comes, he takes the shot calmly. If he misses, he stays composed and waits for the next opportunity. Traders in the zone act the same way. Signs you're entering the zone: when you see that you no longer hesitate before taking valid setups, when you don't chase after losses, when you don't feel a rush when you win or panic when you lose, and when you feel calm and focused while trading, are signs you're trading in the zone. And when you're trading in the zone, trading becomes a process. You stop fighting the market. You follow your plan so naturally that it feels automatic. And this is where consistency and profitability begin. The zone is not a mystical state. It's the natural result of doing the inner work. Consistency and the big picture. Consistency is the real goal. Most traders want big profits. But what separates professionals from amateurs is that professionals don't chase big wins. They chase consistency. Consistency means you execute your edge the same way every time. You control your risk every time. You review and improve your process every time. Consistency matters because if you think about it, trading is a business. No business succeeds by being unpredictable. It succeeds by having systems that work, day in and day out. When you trade with consistency, you create predictable results over time. You eliminate wild emotional swings, and you allow your edge to fully express itself. Small but consistent actions over time compound into big results. If you aim for 1% growth per week, that's over 67% per year compounded. That's how professionals think. Small, repeatable gains. Your opponent in trading is not the market. It's inconsistency. The 3 elements of consistency you need to aim to build are: 1. Your beliefs aligning with your reality. This happens when you've accepted uncertainty, you've understood probability, and you no longer let a single trade affect your emotions. 2. You put process over your emotions. Your written plan guides you. Risk management keeps you safe. Reviews correct your mistakes. 3. You adopt long-term thinking. You see trading as a marathon, not a sprint. You measure success by months and years, not days. You stay committed even when results are slow. Consistency through drawdowns. Even the best traders experience losing months. What keeps them alive is their ability to stay consistent through drawdowns. Amateurs panic, double their risk, or quit. Professionals stay disciplined, knowing that losing periods are temporary if they stick to their edge. Mark Douglas ends Trading in the Zone with a clear message. The market is not your enemy. Your lack of discipline is. You now have the mental framework to move from being a reactive trader to a professional one. Remember, accept uncertainty. Think in probabilities. Master your beliefs and emotions. Follow your process. Focus on consistency, not perfection. Do this long enough, and the zone becomes your natural state. If you found this breakdown of trading in the zone valuable, take these principles and apply them to your own trading. Review this video again when you feel emotions taking over. And if you want more deep dive into trading psychology and how to develop the mindset of a professional trader, subscribe and join me in the next video.